guys. A lot of stuff we normalize in low income communities, that's generational trauma in disguise. The yelling outside, everybody outside yelling, don't know, even though you're outside, people don't know how to talk to each other or communicate in at least a normal tone, right? The distrust, you don't trust nobody. You have always been told from a young child, one of your first lessons is don't trust anybody, which is true in some respects, but really hurtful in a lot of other respects, especially if you want to grow and elevate throughout life. And the constant chaos, right? The it is what it is mindset. That's that inherited pain, you know. It is what it is. Hey, my mom and them did it. Hey, my grandmother and them did it. Hey, if they did it, then why are you tripping about you going through it? If hey, nobody taught us about this, so why are you tripping about us not teaching you? That's the generational trauma, you know. That's something that we don't like to talk about. Our parents were surviving, barely. Their parents were surviving, barely. Nobody taught anybody how to heal. Nobody taught anybody about peace, right? So you not the bill, but the moment you try to be still, the moment you actually understand what peace is, you know, the moment you have the you're allowed to breathe and actually think without actually being in a situation where it's just survival, it's struggle, it's constant chaos, right? The moment you're away from that, people around you start looking at you differently, right? Happened to me, you know, once I started talking to my mom about businesses and what I'm thinking about, or you know what I got wrote down, or what I'm trying to set up here, or hey, I haven't called you back because every day I've been actually trying to read this book so I can actually learn this. Hey, I can't really come right now because I got this meeting come up where I'm trying to talk to these people about, hey, with this project I'm doing, what are some ideas that could help me, or you know maybe it's something that I'm doing that could hurt me, you know. People don't get it, people don't understand it. Again, like I said a couple minutes ago, in one ear, boom out the other. People don't like hearing that crap. They don't. Again, it's not fun. Um, these people were they were afraid to break these curses that I'm not, right. A lot of people nowadays in today's world are trying to break some generational traumas. Now, with anything, people could take a meaning of it and try to apply it to anything that may seem remotely available, right? Your parents holding you accountable for actually not doing anything with your life is not the same as generational trauma, right? Generational trauma is, hey, when you look at your mom, when you look at your grandmother, when you look at your great grandmother, if you can go back that far, when you look at your dad, when you look at his dad, and you know his dad, what do you see that held them back, right? If it was hanging around certain people, if it was having kids from different women out of wedlock, if it was drug usage, if it was lack of personal development, those should be the specific things in which we're trying to break, right? So, for me personally, my mom didn't have a lot of kids, so me thinking about not having a lot of kids wasn't something I was worried about. My main thing was, okay, how do I grow? How do I learn and grow, right? How do I find something I like doing that, yeah, you get paid from it, but how do I end up growing it? How do I try to make it bigger, right? How do I try to add, or what could I add to like spice things up or add a different element in which someone could look at this and say, hey, you know, this looks appealing, or hey, I like the way this guy sounds, or oh, I agree with him, you know, tell me more type of deal. That is me breaking a generational trauma of a better career that in which I don't have to use my body, so I won't actually be shelved to actually work for a certain amount, right? Because I want to be able to be in a career where even if I have a broken foot or I can't walk because I'm just old, I can still operate and, do my career just as much as I could do now, in my 30s while I'm fully, able bodied. But that's just how you think about specifically generational traumas. Let's just say if you came from a long line of baby mamas, okay, if you notice that, right, you should think about, hey, maybe I should think about picking the dude that I sleep with instead of just, oh, he looks good or, oh, he's cool or he got something or he can give me money. Hey, maybe you should put more thought into, hey, my body is my, I have to treat this shit with respect. You know what I'm saying? Because with the right person, I don't want to give them something that everybody else has had. Um, I know a lot of people in our society, they do normalize my body, my choice, which it is their body and it is their choice. But it's also your choice to fuck up. It's also your choice to make a bad decision. Um, Men understand that. We understand, hey, if we get out there and try to do whatever we want to do between the police, between the law just in general, we ain't gonna get far. We can't do whatever we want. We can't go out and act however we want. Even when men do act a certain way, especially if it's alcohol fueled, most men will feel 100% horrible about what they did, whether it was justified or not. You know, not trying to get too deep into that because that's gonna talk about that later. But for the most part, generational trauma is something that is inherited. It's sometimes taught, and a lot of people don't even realize that they're teaching generational trauma, but they are. Once you understand which teachings, which lessons, which thoughts that you have grasped through life that you automatically thought, hey, this is fine. My mom and them did it. Maybe they did it because they didn't know what else to do. Maybe they did it because they didn't know how else to think. Maybe they did it because any other viable option just didn't seem logical at that time. Which doesn't make sense, but believe it or not, logically people choose to make bad decisions sometimes. You know. Uh, so the next segment, excuse me,